No councillor of any local government is being owed salary. No state assembly members are being owed salary. And these guys are talking about this. None of them have not been receiving their security vote and have been spending them the way they like. Many of them who have not been able to pay salaries come to Abuja regularly with chartered flights. Many of them have over 2,000, 3,000 aides whom they pay about 50,000 monthly and have no job specification or job schedule or table other than being political talks, which they hope to use on election day. So clearly, one other thing that have come out from this is that Nigerians should be careful when dealing with the political class. These are governors across parties who pretend to be fighting against each other, PDP, APC, but within, even some of them, before leaving their airports, heading to Abuja, have abused the other party. But in getting to Abuja within 30 minutes, they found it easy to agree to work against the people of Nigeria, as exemplified by the working people of Nigeria. So one thing is coming clear. The working people and their families and friends should watch clearly the political class and ensure extreme partisanship and watch those who are anti the people and make sure they are voted out come February next year.
All right, let's bring it to Joe Ajero. You are the president of the ULC, and then there is the TUC, and there's the NLC. Do you think the Labour front is strong enough to actually get government to do its bidding with this seeming, division within the Labour itself? Could that even be a weakness on its own?
Well, if the political class, and you have about 50-something or 100 and something political parties, could come together and conspire and say they will not pay 30,000. I have not seen the difference between just 3 labor centers. And you know, on this, we are united, whether it's United Labour Congress, whether it's NLC or TUC. So it has been a class battle, historically, between the oppressed class and the oppressors. And that is what is manifesting now. The other thing is just mere demarcation in terms of name, United Labour Congress, NLC, but a worker is a worker anytime. And those oppressing them, giving them forced wages are the same class of people. Having grouped them, and that's the war between labor and capital, together, we are more than ready to engage them. And we have started. That was the whole essence of trying to save face, because last minute, when we wanted to go into a battle with them, they came on this face saving and said they have signed 30,000. So that battle is not over. We are ready to engage them till even after the election. So on this, we are unanimous.
And you've been telling Nigerians to be wary of any governor that is unwilling to pay the 30,000 naira minimum wage, that when it comes to going to the ballot, they should take that decision not to. But what are you doing actively, beyond just telling them on the pages of newspapers and maybe social media, that they should not vote any governor that is not willing to pay?
You see, are
you actively educating the Nigerians?
They still have few weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, to decide what to do before we go political, because we are going political. I'm not aware of any state where the workers have said this man is not coming back and he comes back. If he comes back, we grant activities. Rigging notwithstanding, if you rig yourself into office and you are found to be enemy of workers, we will make sure there will be no fly on that road. No electricity, no fuel, no worker on the street, no transport. Those ones that they are at the forefront of working against Nigerian workers. However, some of them are not seeking re-election. And that was the note of caution that was coming from my colleague. Those of them not seeking re-election are doing a great harm to their party and those coming to take over from them, because the political commissions of all these 3 centers you have mentioned, we are going on ground from local government to state to the constituencies, and we are going to do it.
So in the next, the few weeks you talked about now, what happens after then?
Well, what happens after then is that we go political.
So when you talk about go political, what does that
Well, we're going into political education of our members. We're going to sensitization of our members. You know, of course, we are the people that even conduct the elections. You know, we are the teachers, we are the traders, we are the artisans. You know, that is our constituency. And then we are the people that we even stand by the ballot boxes to make sure that they don't rig election. We enforce it to ensure that the will of the people, you know, triumphs.
All right, Uche Ekwe, some of the governors have actually said that, look, we're not even going to be dealing with the NLC or, you know, the organized labor at the federal level, that they'll be dealing with their own workers and then decide on their own exactly, you know, how to, you know, cross this, you know, hurdle before them on the issue of a minimum wage.
There you go again. You can see how ignorant some of them are. They call it their workers. They are not their workers. They are workers of the state government. You see, these governors arrogate themselves the powers they don't have. Because first, they have 4 years renewable that may or may not be renewed. And they're off. At most 8 years, the workers will be there. It's not their workers. Those workers belong to industrial union, who belong to the labor centers, and are members of the organized labor. And they don't take instructions from them. So when the governors arrogate some of those powers to themselves, it is an expression of illiteracy on part of some of them, and it's a tragedy of a political system that throws people up who know nothing about the rules of engagement and have no respect for it, and who will be talking about disobeying the laws of the land with recklessness and impunity. Well, the governor should realize that why the organized labor movement for the military is because of disrespect or non-adherence to rules. The same vehement that we used in fighting during the military era is what they are being triggered of within. The governors are helping to awaken the sleeping giant in the labor movement. Happily, they have built and calculated wrongly on the basis that the labor movement will be divided. I am sure if they are reasoning properly, they can see the unity within the organized labor. And we can assure them that clearly, now they are declaring the war between the class of have and have-nots. We are the ones who have nothing to lose. We're already on the ground, we fear no fall. They should be wary about, the only thing we need to fight for is to break the chains of poverty, which they have hinged on us, so we are ready to go the extra mile. And as Joe have already said, in the next few weeks, we are going fully political mobilization against any governor. For us, this battle must be fought and be won by the people, because the people are already on ground, not by individuals who have decided to be using the state fund and be behaving like emperors.
All right, we'll come back to you. Let's play this statement from the Zamfara State Governor. He's the chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum on the minimum wage.
The position of governor is not very clear to some of you, that we are willing to pay any amount, but the issue is capacity, the muscles to pay. So now, we discuss that government has some labor sent some numbers, and eventually the committee has given some proposal, but the governors still, they haven't come up with any number. So by tomorrow, we are going to discuss with our governors and say, oh, look at what Labour is sending, look at the bill. The bill was directed by the Honorable Minister of Labour to be sent to the NGF Secretariat so that we can digest what is the bill is contained, and then discuss about it. Then we come up with our own position as governors, because we are partner on this. We're not a partner, we're critical on this subject of discussion.
Right, that was some time ago when you know, they were still trying to put everything together. And knit and weave everything together. Now, the capacity to pay remains an issue on the front burner. 18,000. Many, over 20, in fact, close to 30 states have been struggling to be able to pay 18,000. And if we raise the issue to 30,000, certainly it is the right, which is the right of the workers, that can't be denied. But if we look at the realities, what are the concerns Labour has about the capacity to pay?
Well, the ability to pay was considered. Okay. Labor's demand wasn't 30,000. 30,000 was a compromise position. The United Labour Congress, which I happen to be the president, sent a proposal of 96,000 naira, justifying it, based on cost of living index. And in fact, some of us came up to apologize to Nigerian workers for accepting 30,000 naira. 30,000, for your own information, is less than 1,000 naira per day. On any month you have 31 days, the worker will not get 1,000 naira a day. That will be about 900 and something. And for a family of 6, they will be receiving less than 50 naira per meal. And then when you look at it, without house rent, without clothing, without transportation, we're talking of feeding. And now a governor is telling you of the ability to pay. And we have looked at the revenue accruable to the state, because some of them are becoming rentier. They collect from the federal. Zamfara can develop that state, to pay 50,000 naira minimum wage. And let me say this, he can't say anything about the 30,000. 30,000 is minimum wage, is a benchmark. At the time it was 18,000, states were not even paying 18,000. States like Edo were paying 25,000. And it's better he understands this clearly, that minimum wage is a benchmark for others to pay. You see some states that will pay higher. Some states will pay that 30,000. So for him now to be saying they will pay, there's no way the states will all pay 30,000. Some will pay higher depending on their ability. And we looked at the weaker states, in the federation, to look at 30,000. Before then, some of the states came with proposal that they will pay 35, they will pay 40. We now look at it and take it at 30,000. So if you can pay more than 30, you go ahead and pay. And somebody can, because of the incompetence in the state, that you can't increase the revenue profile of that state, and you want to drag other states down. It's not done. Some states that were not doing well before, some have started doing well. And I'm saying this, some of them have even indicated interest to pay 30,000 or more. So the Zamfara state governor should go to his state and look at some mineral resources in the state and develop it. Now you look at even the issue of tax. They are not even taxing the people they should tax in those states. The only
but if they do, that would raise another issue.
Well, the only
Labor could cry out again.
Because it's labor that is the only people that are paying tax. It's just the income tax of the workers that they are collecting.
All right.
Other sectors are not paying. So he should go home and think of, reduce the issue of crisis in state, and generate revenue, he will pay more.
All right. Do we have enough time to...
let's bring in Uche.
Uche Ekwe is still very much there. Let's talk about the issue of productivity. In the course of all these discussions, of course, state governors, and including the federal government, have even talked about, yes, if we do agree, if at the end of the day we achieve 30,000 minimum wage or whatever the figure is, when it eventually is realized, there will be the need to look at productivity in the labor force. Is that something that the organized labor is looking at seriously to earn whatever the figure would be when it is eventually done?
We have never shied away from speaking to workers. We organize programs aimed at educating workers on increasing productivity. But I must make an addition to ability to pay, because one step forward is to stop wastages. For example, Zamfara, who has not been paying, go and check what Zamfara has spent on security and did not provide any security. The same Zamfara government collected so much money from the federal government as payback for the road done by his predecessor, not even by him. And he still didn't find it convenient to pay. And when you talk about ability to pay again, I always use this very interesting example, which shows it's about choice of those who refuse to pay the 18,000 or who are owing salaries. Jigawa state government is one of the states that receive one of the lowest when it comes to federation account.
Yes.
And it's a rural state, basically. have little or no IGR basis. But the Jigawa state government is not owing anyone kobo, from pension to gratuity to salaries. And you take a Bayelsa, that is among those who earn more, they were owing salaries. So that says so much to you, that it's about choice. It's about commitment to payment.
All right.
Productivity.
All
the
right.
workers are ready to
Comrade,
do. I mean, it's the initiative of even the leadership.
All right, Comrade, we don't have all the time now.
To be done.
Yes.
Most of the times,
let
even
me,
what the worker want to do is even leased out.
Okay. All right, let's leave it here now. Thank you very much, Comrade Uche Ekwe, the head of International Relations, NLC. Now, Comrade Ajero, just quickly, when it comes to the finality of this, if the push comes to shove, what will NLC agree to when it comes to, okay, let us bend a little more?
Well, bending from 65,000 naira, 95,000 naira to 30,000. That's the least. Okay.
So you can't bend below 30,000. Okay.
Okay. Otherwise, you'd break.
Oh, we're already breaking.
All right. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Joe Ajero is the president of the United Labour Congress, and Uche Ekwe joined us from Abuja studio, head International Relations, NLC. Thank you very much, and wish all Nigerian workers the very best.